Anyway. When we left off, we did a whole bunch of stuff. But most importantly, we punched Measurehead. And having punched Measurehead, we are now in this building, and I believe at the end of this we talked to Everett, the union leader. I don't have much more to report on that. Okay, I have one more thing to report on the trip. I did buy some manga written in German, because that's kind of a cool thing that I do everywhere that I go, is like, I found that, like, anywhere that I go, I want to pick up some comics, some manga in, like, the local language. So we picked up an omnibus volume of JoJo. It was part 2. The one where one of the good guys is a Nazi? Like an actual German Nazi? So we have that in German now. And a couple of other things. Anyway. JoJo fans don't like to talk about that part. Like, Battle Tendency is really good, but that's an awkward bit. What else did we do? Honestly, I had to work a lot last week, so a lot of it was just like staying in the hotel room and working from there. I spent like half the week trying to adjust to the time difference, which never actually happened because I came back and readjusted to the home time difference immediately. And that's why I don't take overseas trips for less than a week. Alright, we looked through some things. What else is... Hello?
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
Thank you, highlight button.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
How unfortunate.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders.
It's a good thing that I'm smart enough... It's a good thing I'm smart enough to absolutely know what's in these folders.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. 2 kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol, Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting? Am I smart enough to know what interesting would even be?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
I mean, it's not a terrible it's not a terrible chance. We probably won't hit it, but it's a white check. We're okay.
Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing.
Could I actually focus through not focusing?
You are a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and not letting go.
I don't like it.
Is that what you're doing with those photos over there?
Yes, I'm letting my eyes go completely out of focus and letting all the shapes start melting into each other. With this, I can make sense of something.
Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery.
Hit it again. Focus through not focusing.
Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer.
Let's look at the note.
It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners.
Those are really, like, incomplete messages.
All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Here is a to-do list.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
What is so special about this borscht? Made for chance? Booze? Blood?
Electrochemistry, please. Borscht is just a food. It's like soup.
Remember, Leo, all
Okay.
items on the list, the drawer slides shut smoothly. Mazovian socio-economics.
Let's go communism.
0.000% of communism has been built. Evil, child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin.
It's true.
All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmazov fucked him over, personally, with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
But what are the bonuses? XP from left-wing dialogue options. Even less authority. Honestly, yeah, that's about right. Physical instruments eating good, though. Like, I don't know that we're going to necessarily be able to punch our way through all of this, but damn, if we can, we're set up to do it. That might work. You got glasses? Visual calculus up, drama down. I really need some new pants. Yeah, Disco Elysium delights in the fact that all of the solutions to all of the problems that you want to solve are unsuitable solutions. It pretty much is nothing works, suffer. What is this now? Oh. I always forget that this is a button.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Why antlers?
Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and, at the same time, above it. A shameful way to treat a former king, even one as underwhelming as Friesel.
Why, though?
Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Let's see what's in here.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white.
I can't make any sense of this!
After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international development, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
By the way, I still don't know a single word of German. It was kind of embarrassing. I struggled even to get out the, survival phrases. It mostly worked out because, as ever, the people who live there know an embarrassingly high amount of English compared to the amount of their language that I know, in their country. What's up with the editor's note?
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism.
Mm-hmm. I will say that spending a week there, I actually gained a new appreciation for listening to it. All the jokes are about it being a very harsh and loud and unpleasant language. And honestly, I have found that not necessarily to be true. I actually really enjoyed listening to conversations happen in German. However, in Frankfurt specifically, and granted, we were around the convention center, and so I imagine it was a particularly diverse area, but boy, were there a lot of people speaking not German there. I am pretty sure that on any given day of just walking around town, we would hear between 5 and 8 languages a day. If you include German and English. You'd get some French here and there, you'd get some Spanish. I definitely heard Italian at least once. I'm fairly certain that on multiple occasions I may have heard Urdu. A couple of, I think Punjabi once or twice. And it's one of those things that made me really think, oh yeah, if you're in the EU, all of these languages are as close as like US states are to each other. So of course there's going to be a lot more interplay there. Tyler, we barely use one per person. Like, in some cases, in a number of cases, there's a fair portion of the United States citizenry that I would say, like, it's arguable that they do not know one full language. Like, they know, like, a half to 3/4 of a language. Anyhow.
But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée. Unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel, La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers.
Yep. Hold to those ideals.
So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
Kim, I think this is a communist magazine.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
They probably are.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
What is Kunst und Kultur?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture.
Great.
As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective.
Isn't Tip Top Tournée the racing thing that Kim likes?
The actual article is surprisingly light on details.
It is!
But after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing. If you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships and obscene death toll.
Let's see what these communists have to say about. I love that we're throwing all of this like, let's hear about what the communists have to say immediately after accepting the thought of communism.
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée.
Oh, this is gonna hit real close. This is gonna hit real close. As someone who used to do sports writing for professional football, where problematic aspects abound. Hey, what's wrong with Tip Top?
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships.
Sure.
And then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes.
Accurate, yes. Yes, absolutely. On one hand, the NFL wants to market the game with bone-crunching hits. At the same time, we care about safety. And nobody should get hurt playing this game. We can make it safer. But look how hard that guy got laid out, though. Here's a compilation of the biggest hits of the season, where no one gets hurt. Who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka.
Not really that strange. Very often you'll get one person who writes the meat of the article and then another person who does some of the like statistical research. 2 bylines actually not terribly uncommon.
Under capitalism, The article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity.
Where's the lie?
Thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a Fritta.
This is a fair criticism. But then you get to see them crash.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real racers that you're really watching for.
I'm pretty sure I like it for the racing.
Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave.
Well, yeah, but you don't need a race car for that.
This flimsy magazine is right. Deep down, you know the only true stakes are life and glory, or death by fiery dismemberment.
Thanks, Half-Light. I guess I've never thought about it that much.
That's because you haven't been reading critically.
That's
But
fair.
don't worry.
That's
The
fair.
whole point of these sorts of articles is to let someone else read critically for you.
Oh my god! Ow! Ouch! Oh shit! Oh, that stabbed me right in the side! God damn! Kim, this article says no one watches Tip Top Tourney for the races.
Oh, come on. Can this article read your mind?
It seems to think so!
A certain kind of young man reads one or two books and suddenly thinks he understands the secret structures of reality.
Yeah?
If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Okay, so Kim is biased in this, clearly. But at the same time, like, yeah, I feel where he's coming from on that too. Because as someone who likes particular types of contact or even combat sports because of the tactics and gamesmanship of it, like, it makes me think about how for decades everyone was like, oh yeah, like, let's go to a hockey game because they'll fight. Like, the fights we want to see the fights. And it's like, a fight is an interruption of the game. And also, it doesn't happen as often in today's, like, professional leagues because you get penalized for it. They'll let you do it, but then, like, you go and you get penalized for that. You get put away for like 5 minutes, like a whole, like, 10% of the game. So, like, it isn't really worth it most of the time, from a practical standpoint. But it's the reputation that the game has. Like, oh yeah, let's stay for a fight. We'll go see that. And it's like, no, I hate that. I hate that, and I hate that people think that that's what, like, is interesting about it. Even boxing is like, like, there's a technical aspect of boxing that I appreciate that isn't just the violent blood sport aspect of it. What's up with international developments?
This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Seminine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bear wrestling. Flip back to that.
Wait, hold up. Hold up. I love that. So there's one thing that I absolutely can tell here. Right here. Like, okay, tedious critique, free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations, the Free State of Seminine. There's an encyclopedia check right here that we missed. Right? I've heard before that encyclopedia has, like, by far, pound for pound, the most dialogue of any of the oh god, what are they called? What are all the voices? Stats? Talents? We'll go with stats. But because our intelligence is like rock bottom, I can see where we are missing, like, encyclopedia popping in to give you, like, additional context on things. And this is 100% an area where I would have expected encyclopedia to come in and be like, hey, so here's what those things are, by the way. What's up with bear wrestling?
It seems to be part of a new public fitness initiative.
Oh,
in the
I'm
People's
sorry, a
Republic
what
of
now?
Samara, SRV, devised and promoted by none other than President Kenajinski himself.
A public fitness initiative. I'm listening.
According to this extremely credulous account, Uncle Sport, as he's affectionately known to his people, has recently decreed bear wrestling the national sport of the SRV.
What the fuck do you mean, Uncle Sport?
Based on the description in this article, he appears to be an extremely competent and democratically elected president.
I'm sure that that's true. Right, bear wrestling.
It's quite straightforward. A standard match features one man, or in some cases, woman, against one bear.
Uh-huh.
2 competitors, 1 ring, 5 rounds, or until incapacitation.
Uh-huh.
According to the SRV's Ministry of Information, the program has been a tremendous success. Public support stands at 87%, and youth obesity and alcoholism rates are down 12% and 7% respectively.
Is that because the only people who are signing up to do it are drunk and then die? Because that would reduce the alcoholism rate. Is it hard to fight a bear if you're drunk? It's hard to fight a bear if you're out of shape.
That's very much the idea. President Kaczynski has long maintained that a strong body is the best defense against capitalist aggression.
I don't know that that's strictly true, but okay. Kim, do you think there's any chance our case will take us to the SRV? No reason.
The Samaran People's Republic? No, I should expect not. Why do you ask?
I was thinking it might be fun to partake in a bear fight.
I suppose that would be something to see.
Kim's totally down.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Hey, listen. If, like, bringing this back to its emotional center, Punch Girl absolutely would fight a bear. 1000%. Where the bear fights at?
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike.
That's true. That is not surprising.
You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta.
Boy, this is hard propaganda.
Finally, there's a brief
Goddamn.
article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Fucking landlords, man. Charging rent just to live somewhere is pretty outrageous.
The writer G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution so long as it's only redistributed upward.
Listen. Listen.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Show me the lie. Actually, though. What is this handwritten note from the fridge? Oh, from the Ice Bear fridge.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
We are reading that damn note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe.
Hey. Listen. We don't know for sure that Kuno can't read.
You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Swaff.
Wonder who wrote that note.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe they had to leave in a hurry.
That's a plausible hypothesis.
What's a filament memory?
It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
Thanks, Kim. That's a really good explain it like I'm 5 explanation of that. Appreciate that. Who's the illiterate ginger kid?
Really? You don't have a single guess?
No, I got no idea.
I'm placing my bets on a certain red-haired miscreant we met before. He'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Love you, Kim. Where's the frozen ice cream maker?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the Ice Bear fridge.
Shit!
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
Well, it's a good thing I'm reading this now when I'm all the way across town.
Someone has scribbled. You'll find the filament memory.
Guess that's a problem for future me. Anyway.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change.
Why would I do that? I don't think I want to do that. Oh, good, it's raining again. Hey.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. The white rectangle of the Revachol Citizens Militia is clearly visible on its back.
Someone left their cloak behind.
Yes, it was probably you. It does bear the RCM insignia, after all.
Shit! You think I should get it?
The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, yes I do.
Okay, I'll get it.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort through your fingertips.
Fine
The
content.
already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up the handset. The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move.
All right, interfacing, let's go. Muscle memory, random number.
It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns in the air.
Are they useful patterns?
Undoubtedly, no.
I might try this again
Sure,
later.
why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing. Nothing tricky about that. You just do, fail, repeat, until it works. All it takes is motivation and practice.
Well, that didn't work. Oh, that's just a straight upgrade. That is a straight upgrade over Disco Ass Blazer. In my first playthrough of this, my only real interaction with physical instrument was it calling me a namby-pamby. Hold up, hold up! Hold on a minute, that's money! I'm in no position to be ignoring that. Unless I can't get up there, in which case... I guess it doesn't actually matter. Fine.
A rusting control panel with several knobs.
That would have been
Two
my
buttons
guess.
marked Mosh and
Esprit de corps.
Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block.
I mean, it's French, so like, it would be something in the vein of like corps, with like a the breathy thing at the end of it. I'd say it's closer to core than cop, but not really quite either.
Marche. On. Arrête. Off.
That being said, hey, thanks, Encyclopedia. From what I've seen in this game, Esprit de corps is basically just, hey, what the cops up to?
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
That's probably fine. That was uncomfortable.
And with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled.
Tell me about the purpose.
Moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose it has acted. And now it will rest.
It's funny because to think about an actual crane being built and installed and placed simply for moving a single container is ridiculous. However, in this case, interfacing is correct because within the game universe, this one crane is literally for building this, for moving this one container. And in the game world, that's the only thing it will ever do.
I can't see how that was worth the records, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Off.
The crane does not return to its original position. It does not move at all.
On again.
No screech of metal when you push the button this time. Only silence as the crane remains in its state of dormancy.
Off again.
The crane does not return.
Okay. Fine. That's fine. Yay, money.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
I think there's something special about this.
You do? Because I don't.
Why?
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
Because it was hanging from the crane.
You just picked one out because you wanted to interact with a cargo container.
Shut up, Kim.
We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
Open the
You
door.
attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Knock on it.
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything inside the container.
Tell the door to open.
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because getting physical wasn't an option.
Because what wasn't an option?
Using my body over my wits.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
No, you don't. So mad. Like straight up, I took the big physical build so that I could power my way through stuff like that. And now literally the game is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, did you want to power through that?" Oh god, did I... Oh, is it just not opening? Maybe I need a key or something. I remember this man being pleasant.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
That's fine.
The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisunt on Muindi.
Why would there be a spelling incorrect notice in my own internal dialogue?
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
Hi?
Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister? I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
What is it with you people in scabs?
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
What are you doing with the containers?
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am, yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
Oh. Ooh, a red check at 8%? Let's skip that. Let's ask about something
Sure,
else.
mister. About what?
You're Canadian, right?
Oh, yes. Born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then. Too old to lose my accent then.
That's not Canadian. It's like Irish-ish.
People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir. Those are just nasty rumors.
Wait, what kind of trouble?
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Welsh? Maybe? I'm not, like, I have a hard time differentiating different, like, UK accents, to be honest. The harbor is empty.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate.
Yeah, about that.
But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
What kind of trouble?
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off.
What'd they actually do?
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. Well, that's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this under hearties.
Okay, you know what? One of the things they teach you in journalism school is that if someone's being really talkative and offering up information, don't stop them. Let them go and just kind of like put some guardrails on the conversation. Because if you can get them talking about something that's not necessarily pertinent to the point that you're driving at, they're more like you'll get them in the mood to be more cordial and talkative when it comes to directing the conversation back to the things that you do want to talk about. So I'm actually going to let him go on this tangent and see if maybe that helps us like pull some more information from him, because I feel like one is too direct. Is like jumping right into like, did they kill someone? He's gonna be like, no, nothing like that. So let's butter him up some.
I remember I was the runt of the class. The bigger boys always used to pick on me. You see, I had a bit of a temper back in the day. Flew off the handle like nobody's business.
Uh-huh.
But Mr. Everett and his brother always came to help. Once they beat old Noel Becker so bad he needed stitches on his head. Noel never started another fight with anyone after this.
Doesn't sound like you were in the fight, actually.
Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar are real nice guys, mister. You should go talk to Mr. Everett. I'm sure you'll be good friends. He's friends with everyone around here.
Are you the Leo who wrote the note to make more banners?
Oh, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the borscht.
Wait, tell me about the borscht!
Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
Boar dogs? Boar dogs?
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dogfighters. Alcohol, however.
Wait, is this striking soup?
Yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags.
Who makes it?
Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad.
The borscht despite!
Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
He didn't actually understand what you meant, and now he's just nodding along.
Perfect. Do you work here?
Yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is away. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
Oh, that does actually make sense. Like hunting dogs for boar. Yeah, okay. That makes more. I was imagining something else, and I was like, I don't think we've seen like weird fantasy hybrid creatures in this game yet. So that's kind of a jump.
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio.
Does he mean she's black? And just thinking about the cross-section between, like, the colors of candy bars and the colors of human skin, and the crossover trends toward the darker side. And it's honestly like, that's a weird way to say that.
But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here, and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I think you're doing a great job, I think, probably.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are all right.
Goodness, he's so wholesome!
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
Told you.
Damn it, Kim!
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
And they're the fat cats running the union, and you're just some guy sitting on a shipping container in the rain? I don't think I like the implications of that.
Oh, Mr. Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course. Bye-bye now.